Lights out, pull the curfew around your body, soul, and mind. This is Richard Greaser, and you're listening to the Paznia Radio Network.
The call to be something more, and try to ignore it, but the sound was a roar. To instrument facing all of your fears, to leave what was safe, embark on the frontier. You try to resist, but there was no going back. Your very existence had come under attack. Self-respect required you to grow, to leave everything behind that you had known. The journey will be long, but you will find you are strong. Dig deep inside, take what's coming in stride. The world needs heroes to do what must be done. So answer the call, because the brave don't run. Stand your ground, fight for what's true. Choose what's hard in pursuit of virtue. It may seem like all hope is gone, but you're still here, so the fight isn't done. So the fight isn't done yet. You can't unsee what is before your eyes. To go back to before would be your soul's demise. I know you fear the cost of living in integrity, but you have no other choice if you are to keep your sanity. You may get tired, but you'll never be alone. Your courage will attract others and you'll find a home. Together you will build the future that you desire, and rely on each other when you need to be inspired. The journey will be long, but you will find you are strong. Dig deep inside. The bold don't
Howdy, folks. Happy Monday. This is Richard Greaser back from the holidays. And my microphone arm is not cooperating. But yeah, I'm back from the holidays. Did a lot of songwriting while I was gone. Did some reading of Atlas Shrugged. It's that time of year. But we're back. And the world's pretty interesting. The American empire is doing what the American empire does. I don't know. I think the funniest tweet I saw today was Mike Brock. Mike Brock is he's better than comedy. I don't know why comedy or comedians are employed when there's individuals like Mike Brock out there. You know what I mean? Because he's out there and he's embarrassing himself every single day. So he's throwing a fit, suggesting the U.S. government is devolving into some sort of gangster-led cabal or whatever under the Trump administration. The Trump derangement syndrome is just it's so incredible. These guys. And he's just a fool. He claims to know a lot about American history. If you know anything about American history, you know that essentially from the inception, America was a gangster country ran by gangsters. I mean, that's what the Revolutionary War was. These people were so savage. They were better gangsters than the British, and the British were pretty intense gangsters for a long time. Like that's just what being a global superpower means is you're the toughest gangster in a group of other gangsters, because that's what government is. And these guys like Mike Brock, it's incredible, like just the level of Stockholm syndrome that there is, where they have this faith in this institution. And so he's freaking out right now because another group of gangsters came over and took over from his group of gangsters that he preferred. Who knows if they actually took over or how much of it's a show at this point. But yeah, it's just it's interesting to watch people. I think it was pretty safe to make fun of people in 2025, but I think it's just at this point it's kind of a moral imperative to make fun of people that believe in government, the people that believe in fixing the Epstein client list from the inside. It's like one thing if you believe in government, you know, and you actually know what it is, right? It's a violent criminal organization ran by violent criminal child abusers that you got to be more tenacious and evil to take over from them. Like that's how you fix the government in your mind. You know, if you're actually gonna, you know, do it realistically. There's this misunderstanding of the rules of the game that is so pervasive. People do not understand the way the world works. Instead, what they do is they construct these worldviews based on just unbelievably wild fantasies that are oftentimes dictated or almost always are created for them by the individuals that are giving them a hard time and making their lives difficult. And they stand there and they worship these people. And it's interesting to watch. So, you know, Trump goes into Venezuela, right? He's looking for the Bitcoin for whatever reason, whatever the Bitcoin podcasters are saying these days. There's something pertaining to Bitcoin involved with it. But he goes into Venezuela And people are all wound up about it as if it like is an unusual thing for the US government to do. This is just this is what the US government does. This is what they did in Iraq. This is what they did in Vietnam. I mean, they haven't gotten to that point. Like, I don't know why it's more shocking for them to supposedly go in and kidnap. Who knows what actually happened in the situation? I haven't monitored the situation too closely because I think there's other things that could be done. I'm working on some pretty exciting stuff. Been working a lot on my new EDM album, and I enjoy that more than monitoring the situation, trying to decipher a bunch of information that is all a part of a psychological war operation. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, why are you shocked? Why are you upset? If your guy was in office, he would do something equally as bad. And then there's like this whole slew of people that are supporting it. And they're like, go Epstein list. Like, you did something awesome. You kicked that communist ass. Like, it's just funny watching these global events happen because so few people have any understanding whatsoever of these countries that they're talking about. And it's a big game of sports ball for them. It's political sports ball. It's like, yeah, rah, our team's going to go kick their team's ass. Rah, yay. And you obviously don't want your team to lose. But when you support these military interventions, you get all excited about it. In many ways, you're supporting your team to lose because there's so much what's called blowback from this. Many circumstances, all these military endeavors are just giant money laundering schemes. You're going to get the populace in debt. You're going to get them enslaved to the system. We're going to use debt to acquire a bunch of hard assets. And the war is a good way to scare people, to take more central control over the economy in order to be able to loot more shit from the populace. It's just these wars typically aren't done in your interest. You know what I mean? Like Venezuela, like what are the reasons that they said they got Maduro? Because he was shipping drugs. Went from fentanyl. It was fentanyl a couple weeks ago, and now it's cocaine. The charges were that they had on Maduro were absolutely hilarious. Because what it just showcased was this flagrant, like, I don't give a fuck. And this is what's got Mike Brock so messed up, and many individuals like him that believe in the sanctity of government, whatever. Why they're so upset is the flagrance of not caring. We're just going to flaunt our gangsterism. Like what they want is they want these individuals to hide it and be a little bit more subtle. Don't be such an obvious bloodthirsty criminal for the populace to look at and see transparently. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I'm watching a lot of people fall for the psyops, and I'm watching a lot of people that I respect and are intelligent constantly fall for the psyops. I see a lot of people use collectivist language. A lot of people are suggesting that war is sports ball. A lot of people are doing things that I find it that you shouldn't be so susceptible to. At least you'd have a little bit more awareness of the way the world works if you listen to 40 Hours Bitcoin podcast a week. And it's just interesting because I think there's going to be a lot of conflict in the next few years, as we've seen prior, where people are going to get very divided on issues. They're going to get very emotional about them. And in most circumstances, they're not that shocking and don't really matter. Like, oh, the pedophiles are starting more wars and, invading countries and plundering and stealing. It's like, yeah, that's what the system's constructed to do. And if you're an American, you live in the heart of the empire. It's like living in Rome or in Italy during the Roman Empire. They're going out and doing all this, shit global. They're all over the place. Going and pillaging the barbarians in Europe or whatever, the Vikings but yeah, so this is Paznia Radio Network. I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Richard Greaser. You probably know who I am at this point. My mic arm is not working tonight, so I'm going to be fiddling a lot over here probably. But this is a show where I talk shit about whatever I'm thinking about, talk music. Happy New Year's, folks. This is 2026. Dennis Porter still has not tweeted, and we are all holding out for an announcement.
its hold. Lungs are getting liquidated as sentiment implodes. Satoshi action is more like Satoshi run and hide. The bears are in control and we all need a guide. But the night is always darkest before dawn. Maybe Dennis has been working
the plebs up into knots. They are useful cannon fodder. Shouting the roof's on fire, tell the sane that they are liars. Who cares about truth or honor? Whip up a raging storm, direct those who are uninformed. They wanted a moral crusade anyways. Weaponize all their fears, manipulate them to become volunteers to fight a war to earn your praise. You are a master, master of pleb slop. Tell them you are on their side while your true intentions hide. Plebs don't question, they just react. Isolated, angry and alone, they wanna feel seen and known. Validate their feelings so they ignore facts. Point them like a loaded gun, rob them of any fun. Their minds are yours to steal. They will sing how you are great, amplify what you create. Whatever you say they think is real. You are the master, you are the masters of slow. The crowd cheers when you talk and boos the ones you mock, not understanding what they do. They think they're on the winning side, repeating talking points you provide, parroting all that you spew. Follow the master, follow the masters of slop. Manufacturing a divide, conquering by forcing them into sides. It's too easy not to do. Shake the jar and watch them fight, fill them with venom and spite. The playbook isn't new. Manipulating the masses, the true masters of slop.
The masters of slop are at it again. Uh, I don't know. I guess one of the reasons why I think I believe that I'm not as susceptible to psychological operations as most people. And the reason isn't because I'm like smarter or superior or whatever. It's just that I have a sense of values that I stick to, even when certain information, like my values aren't shifting. Like I think this is where a lot of people struggle is they kind of something alarming and traumatic is presented to them, and all of a sudden their values shift with everybody else. They care because everybody else does. Like, oh, now this is the most the most important thing in the world is safety. We need grandma cannot die from the flu. Like that is the most important thing in the world today. Then the next day is climate change, and then the most important thing in the world is saving Ukraine or running knots or whatever. They're it's just these people. Most people, not these people. Most people, the values just shift back and forth with whatever's going on. And I meet people that I think are like myself who just they kind of remain the same people no matter what's going on. They're going to make decisions. Like if somebody tells them to do something stupid, they're going to tell them to fuck off. They're not going to bow over to their authority. They have like a sense of self. And they have a sense of self-awareness, and they're not easily panicked because they're like, I'm going to think about this first. Try and figure out if you're just pulling my leg or whatever. But like one of the things with information warfare that's important to look at is just to know your beliefs and know your biases and to check them. And when you start to feel that nervous system response of being anxious or frustrated or whatever, like really stop and think for a second. Question that feeling. Like every time I start looking at war stuff, I feel it. Because war isn't sports ball to me. And I don't get paid by the defense industry. So it's not exciting to me. It's actually kind of scary to me because there's people that are actually facing real life consequences of the war, whether it be economic or getting killed or having their homes destroyed, like real shit. Shit that would just be devastating if it happened to me. So I just don't get excited about it. Like it's like the Broncos are going to the sports bowl playoffs or whatever. But I think understanding my biases and triggers is why I'm not as susceptible to this stuff. It's really kind of some self-awareness. Like if you understand your fears, if you understand your values, you understand your weak spots, you understand and you've read a lot about how these mechanisms work, if you understand the way the world works to some degree, or you think you do, you've actually taken the time to read a lot and question the world and the way it works beyond the history textbooks that you were given. You've read a lot of conflicting opinions. You've dealt with the cognitive dissonance of knowing that not all of them can be true. And tried to make educated opinions about things. It's going to be less easy to fool you. Just being somewhat educated on what's happening in the world is helpful. It's like, you ever play a board game with somebody who's not playing in good faith? And every time you try and do something, you don't know the rules. They're teaching you how to play. You don't know the rules. And every time you try and do something, then they educate you. Oh, no, that's against the rule. And so you spend all this time, trying to strategize. You set up these strategies and then you try to implement them, and then you're told they're against the rules. If you go into that game with that person, you're holding the rule book and you're reading it meticulously before you really start getting going to formulate a plan. You understand the rules of the game, and this person's going to try and pull a fast one on you. Oftentimes, like the individuals. So we live in this two-tiered society, right? And the upper tier doesn't play by the rules because they don't have to. They set the rules, but they also they tell the people enforcing the rules what to do, and they pay them. And so there's this inherent feeling of unfairness in society. And you see it with the plebs all the time, the unfairness. Like, they just feel it. And they try to come up with conclusions for it because oftentimes they just don't do enough research into understanding why. They're just like, yeah, these guys have too much money. Because they're greedy or mean or whatever. They don't want to share with us. That's like the extent that they get to with it, as far as understanding. So they go, get angry, and they're like, you need to give us more. You need to do this. You need to do this. Or right now, it's actually the opposite in a large degree. Like, there's a lot of people on a tax rate. You need to take less from us. We're not paying until you take less. Or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not going to talk a lot about the tax strike. I think it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon. I think it's kind of telling of just where individuals are at, and it's interesting going and talking to the average person because they're pretty demoralized right now. But there's what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way is there's a lot of effective tactics and a lot of ineffective tactics for enjoying life. And one of the ineffective tactics is to just get ran over constantly by individuals in positions of power that don't have your best interest in mind, by either, having some sort of weird loyalty to them, or by trying to work within the system to change it, by trying to change the Epstein list from the inside. It's a clear misunderstanding of how the way the world works. And the reason why it's important to understand the way the world works is so that you can have a good time. You can enjoy life. You can make good decisions. And like, one of these ways is just knowing that you in the eyes of these individuals you're just useless cannon fodder, and they don't give a shit about you. And so being loyal to people that view you as cannon fodder and don't give a shit about you is probably not a good idea, right? And the information that they're trying to provide you largely is information to get you to be malleable in some way. And so I guess I wanted to talk about this. I was talking about this with Rod the other day. People have their buttons installed, right? And they're getting activated left and right. So Mike Brock, he's got his anti-Trump derangement or Trump derangement syndrome button. You've got the Patriots. You've got just like all these various ones. Being on the left and the right, engaged in politics, in my opinion, showcases that you have completely surrendered your mind to the system. You're either benefiting gratefully from it and you just don't give a shit, or you're just, you're not paying attention. And you're being turned dumb by propaganda. By unhelpful propaganda. And it's wild to watch people just get their buttons just flipped. People getting stoked. Yeah, like, yeah, they got Maduro, fuck the commies or whatever. Or the people that are like, oh, he was a sovereign leader in the world. If you're a libertarian, you deserve to be made fun of more than these people. You're the worst because you're in a social club that is intentionally trying to lose. You got really mediocre people that are like, oh, we're better because we're different than those guys. And anything interesting or cool or whatever, and Bitcoin people are kind of like this too. But Bitcoin people actually have an interest in technology, whereas you're in a political party that doesn't do anything ever other than waste people's time and money. Like, oh, but we're educating people on liberty. No, you're not. You're educating people on how to be very unimpressive and live mediocrely. That's what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, wasting money just isn't impressive. Like, oh, maybe we'll get this political campaign winner this time or whatever. No, you're not. Gosh, when people talk about the Orange Party, just it's the worst. But people are getting their buttons, just like flipped left and right. They are. I don't know. I mean, I think the world is, at least the way that the world is going to be perceived by people when they're looking through their cell phones or whatever, it's going to be very traumatizing. It's going to put their brain through the ringer, and they're not going to know how to deal with it. And they're going to freak out. They're already freaking out. The nervous systems are all out of whack. But anyways, I've been doing a lot of dancing recently. And I like dancing. I like dancing to EDM music. Here is the song off my album, Doomsday's DJ, called Take My Hand. This is a good one to dance to. You have found the courage to fight, weighing the cost of facing the system's rejection.
protection. The masses are lost, but you have direction. Why do they feel threatened by people with self-respect? We will not kneel and pretend or numb out and disconnect. We're here together, watching the world fall apart. I know you feel the pressure, but this is just the start. Come take my hand, let's make a stand. Here is our chance. It's time to dance. Come and take my hand, we'll dance until the end. While the world is falling apart, they won't understand, but let them all be dead. Feel the music in your heart. The war will not be won if we can't have fun. Have the courage to use your mind. They may hate our memes, but they cannot crush our dreams. We can still have a good time. Don't let them get you down, that's what they try to do. Break down your sense of self by mocking what is true. If you don't believe your eyes and refuse to use your brain, you will fall for their lies and likely go insane. Come take my hand, let's make a stand. Here is our chance. It's time to dance, dance, dance. Come and take my hand, we'll dance until the end. While the world is falling apart, they won't understand, but let them all be dead. Feel the music in your heart. Look around and see life passing like a dream. Numb the pain you feel and pretend like it isn't real. Marching orders coming in, telling you to commit mortal sins. It is exactly what you think. The world is approaching the brink. Funding conflict on both sides. The shadow banker hides. The tide is rolling in. The TV spewing spin. The battle is not lost, but a winning hand.
I've decided no more bitching about the plebs tonight. Yes, people fall for the pleb slop all the time, but what can you do? Yeah, I mean, I hope you're not. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're not anxious. I hope you you've had the foresight to mentally and physically prepare for where we're at and what's coming. If you haven't, it's not too late. Uh, you get your shit together. But had a nice surprise today. Noah Grumman did a vocal practice, and it's fun, because it's like listening to her do live karaoke, and like I'm the only one most of the time that has any sort of song request, so I get to ask her to sing songs. Um, she does live streams on Zapstream, and it's sick, because she is legitimately one of the best singers in the world, and it's just cool to hear her do other people's music. It's super cool. Um, there's all sorts of cool things that are happening. The shit coins are pumping. I'm sure Mr. or Ghost of Dick Whitman's super stoked about that right now. It's like, man, I've been running out of things to talk about. Shit coins aren't doing bad. I can't just tweet every day about like how Ethereum sucks or whatever, because it's just like it's not that cool. Like it's only uh got another zap from Vake. Thanks, Vake. Vake says, I was a loser before Bitcoin. I'm still a loser, but at least I have some Bitcoin. That's a head scratcher for me. You don't have to settle for being a loser. Oh yeah, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Atlas Shrugged. Um, Fake. I know you've read Atlas Shrugged, but you should do it again. That's my opinion. Read it twice a year, and you'll feel better about yourself. But yeah. The reason why I like Atlas Shrugged is because I think Ayn Rand does a really good job of explaining the rules of the game, explaining how the world works, like it's just the archetypes she picks, the heroes and the villains. Like when you start classifying, you go through life and you start classifying people as Rand novel villains and heroes, it changes your world's perspective. Like, wow, that guy really looks and acts and behaves a lot like I would imagine a Hank Reardon would. Or that woman's super hot. She's a Dagny Taggart type character. Vake says he likes Fountainhead. He reads it twice a year instead. Why is that, Vake? Fountainhead's also pretty good. I'm a big fan of Fountainhead. I just don't read it as much. It's just it's a good framework of seeing the world around you. Like, yeah, Mike Brock is Ellsworth Toohey. A lot of these podcasters run around. You'll like this, Vake. A lot of these podcasters run around the world. They act as Peter Keating type characters. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of running out of steam. I don't know what it is. You go through the holidays and it's just like zapping of your energy. I think it's like just getting really cold. Finally, just gone through the fall. You're kind of getting during the really cold times. Days are shorter. Fake says Dominique Francon is hot in the Fountainhead. That's an interesting take. I mean, she is. I would agree she's hot, but she's a weirdo. That's like the thing that I like the part of the Fountainhead. It maybe need to give it another shot, but I just think that the romantic relationship dynamics are so weird. And I've talked to some women about this. I'm not going to say names of who I talked to. You know, have talked about specific parts of the book that I thought were weird, and they didn't seem to mind it. But yeah, it's I don't know. I like the Fountainhead too. Howard Rourke is just awesome character. Fake says I'm attracted to women that hate my guts. Um, that's interesting. That's just a weird thing to be attracted to. Why would you be attracted to people that hate you? I mean, it's like being a statist. You know what I mean? It's like being attracted to your IRS agent. It's like being attracted to your FBI or your intelligence agent handler. You know what I mean? It's a bad idea. Don't be attracted to people that hate you. Yeah, I need to reread this to look at the relationship dynamics between Dominique Francone and everybody. I mean, she was just like she was a fun character. Uh, I thought she was great. I wonder how much of Ayn Rand was in Dominique Francone because I think Rand was a weirdo too in her person. She's great author. I think her ideas are great, but I think she's just kind of weirdo in her personal life. Yeah, you got me sidetracked. So, one of the projects that I've really wanted to work on for a long time is I want to do an Atlas Shrugged movie and I want to do a soundtrack. And I only have one song that I've been able to write so far for it. So I think it's just going to be a little bit until I hit that inspiration because that's generally how things work for me is I get inspired on ideas. And I have to in that moment capitalize on it because or else something else comes along and catches my attention. So most of what I create is very spontaneous and like I'm willing to stick with an idea for a long time. And the Atlas Shrugged movie is years in the making because the previous movies really sucked. But it's coming. It's coming eventually. I don't know when, but in the next. Hopefully, this is my 2030 agenda. Richard Greaser's 2030 agenda right here is an Atlas Shrugged movie. Could be. Yeah, it could be quicker. I don't know what's going on with you, Vic. Don't be attracted to women that cheat on you. This is why you got to read Atlas Shrugged. um. Uh, but right, okay. So here are the projects that I'm working on right now in the moment. So that's like a big one in the future. But I'm working on this album, the Heroes album, and so like the last song that you heard is a remix of "The Battle's Not Lost" off one of my previous albums. It was a metal song that turned into an EDM song, and it was pretty good. And I have a couple more songs. I don't want to debut them tonight because I want to find a way to release them in an exciting way. But one of the songs is Bonnie and Clyde, and I'm excited about this song because Bonnie and Clyde are very important figures in American history. If you go on Spotify or any music app and you search Bonnie and Clyde, there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs about them. Maybe even more than Romeo and Juliet at this point. They are one of the most interesting romances, I think, in the history of the world. And I think people tend to have bad takes on it. Oftentimes they're portrayed as these violent, bloody villains, which they were. but they're framed as that in the eyes of like the police trying to stop them being the good guys, and the police trying to stop them were not the good guys. They were also, very very violent, evil people. And I think part of the reason why Bonnie and Clyde are so interesting is, so they're interesting for a few reasons. So Bonnie was a poet, and through her poetry she was really able to frame narratives, because they're getting reported on all the time, and she's writing this poetry of this beautiful romance of her and Clyde running around robbing banks and shooting people. And so it just added to the mystique and the brand, and they did pictures, and really, like people at the time saw them in a lot of areas as folk heroes, because they were out there robbing these banks at a time very similar today, where everything's all fucked up financially, and they're going after the people that people are angry at, the people that foreclosed on their house. They're going and robbing those guys. And I think the reason why people respected him so much at the time, and why they have been so relevant for so long in American history, is because they understood the rules of the game, and they made a calculated decision. They're like, we're not going to get anywhere by just following the rules. We're not going to get anywhere from working within the system. We're going to play the game by their rules. We're just going to be brutal and savage, just like they are. And in many ways, they outcompeted these guys. I mean, there was just like a handful of them, just, like the government steals shit, they were stealing shit. The government kills people, they were killing people. They were playing the exact same game, but in many ways, they were better at it than the government. I don't really see them as like Robin Hands-esque, you know what I mean? But I wrote this song about Bonnie and Clyde, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be working on a music video for it, and I think it's going to turn out pretty cool. But it's just over the next year, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through the era of history I really want to focus on, where the past year was the pioneers, and maybe I didn't do a good enough job of like really highlighting these figures in pioneer history. But I want to highlight this era, the bootlegger era, during Prohibition. You got the bank robbers, you got people, running booze all over the place. You got, I mean, in many ways, we're in a similar era today, because you think of like pot. Pot's been illegal for a long time, and nobody follows the rules. Presidential candidates say that they've smoked pot. It's literally like Prohibition. And you're at this point where it's like quasi legal in most places. And there's like real tough economic times, and there's been this whole culture around weed. It's not as big as it used to be. Weed culture used to be big, but there's so many similarities, I think, in our culture today with the feelings of just complete disenfranchisement by the general population, people being really grumpy and frustrated. The U.S. just has essentially come off of a very demoralizing war in the war on terror. The population at the time had really, in the 1930s, had come off of a very demoralizing war in World War I, not that long ago. The vets were fucked up. Like the government just kind of dumped them. They're really angry. Kind of like many veterans are today at the U.S. government, for the way that they've gotten treated after the war on terror, and just realizing that kind of the circumstances which led him there, the truth about it. There's a lot of interesting dynamics, and within his time frame, there's figures like Bonnie and Clyde that are just like, fuck it, like we don't care, we're not following the rules, and we're gonna live this life. And what Bonnie really was able to do, which is just absolutely incredible. Like the song, I took like a lot of inspiration from her poems, is the way that I wrote it. But she framed this beautiful love relationship, through all of this, and so people are watching this, and I think they feel inspired because the way she depicted herself was living on the edge, really choosing to live like fuck it, like I just don't care, like these feelings that many normal people want to feel, like they want to not care, they want to just throw themselves into romance or whatever it is, something exciting, something meaningful to them, with reckless abandon. They don't want to be stuck, chained to their responsibilities of having to work a job to pay their taxes, or whatever it is, their civic duties, or just general responsibilities that they've gotten into, coaching sports ball or whatever it is, and they look at these figures. They're just running around and living. They're driving fast cars. They're posting all these romantic pictures of themselves. She's writing this dope poetry about like how awesome their lives are and how awesome they are. Their lives were tremendously difficult, and they were nuts. They were complete psychopaths. But like, people are looking at this, and men are looking at Bonnie. They're like, wow, I really just wish I had a ride or die woman in my life that loved me that much. And the women are looking at the man or at Clyde, and they're like, holy shit, this Bonnie chick is so into this dude. Like, I just wish I had a reason to be this into a dude. And many of them at the time were just, they're really struggling. It was a really hard economic time during the 1930s. Very, very, very difficult. And they're watching this play out. They're watching this beautiful romance, or what is depicted as a beautiful romance. Who knows what it's actually like? I need to do some more reading on them. But I think this is a fun era to get into. So 2026 is going to be the Prohibition bootlegger era. And I think in many ways, like the cypherpunks or individuals interacting with Bitcoin have a lot of parallels to the Prohibition disrespecters. Individuals that want freedom, want the ability to do whatever they want. Don't believe in the authority of the state, to dictate these things to them. Getting back to the music, we got some eCash Sailor. This is appropriate, and I'm not going to explain why, but you'll know here soon in the future. eCash Sailor is a great addition to the Bugleverse.
Yeah. Yeah. Big things slopping. Big things slopping. Paper plates on the blockchain.
Big cash later, baby.
Big things slopping. I ain't stuck in your trap. Old heads preach, but they talking flat. We move cold while they move out. Zoom or flow, running north to south. Big things slopping, no pot, no preach. New chain driven while they still teach. Boomer vibes melt, Gen X just cold. Millie drink slob like it's liquid hope. I was born in the bear, grew up in the mempool. You was stacking slob, tryna sound cool. 40 hours pot talk, same old rant while I'm patching bugs in the Discord chant. but they talking flat. We move cold while they move mouth. Zoom or flow, running north to south. They said read the white paper, I said nah, make it sing. I don't need your gospel, I just need my string. Plug in, push up, know it in my pocket. You tweet all day, I deploy my socket. Slop stack kings in their echo halls. Arguing dips while the new gen installs. I'm in VR writing lightning zaps. They still fighting over block size cash. Liquid hope. Big things, big things slapping. Big things, big toe dropping. No charge, top melts, we keep popping. DTD cash, seller at the chat. Still plotting.
Pleb slop awake, the algorithm sings, feeds me dreams and dopamine strings. Code in my veins, hope on my screen, an echo chamber built to keep me clean. And I tried to learn, but I scrolled instead. All my orange pills turn gray in my head. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. We're all sipping slop from the same old truck too. I sold my signal for some retweets and views. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. I watch my heroes monetize their faith, turn conviction into click-through rates. All my idols were influencer skin. They shill salvation from within. And I tried to stack, but I chased the pump. Dreamed of freedom while refreshing the slump. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. We're chained to the feed, pretending it's truth. I thought I'd break out, but I just renewed. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. Oh, my signal's lost in the pleb fog. Oh, my ego's dressed like a demagogue. Oh, my faith's just fiat in disguise. Oh, my freedom's measured in likes. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. We mirror each other in perfect untruths. No saints, no sinners, just plebs with a view. The pleb slop in me is the pleb slop in you. And I swear I meant to build something real, but all I built was the algorithm's meal.
I got my cables all tangled up. Was that Smoking a cigarette. Here we go. All right, we're in business. One of the worst parts about podcasting is all these damn cables everywhere. Getting caught on your chair. It's a mess. Don't lecture me on cable management. It's not. Well, that's probably part of it. I guess I could probably fix a lot of those issues, but explain why I haven't. Whatever. Maybe I'll get Kaylee over to organize these cables or whatever. But 2025 was the year of pleb slop. It was a sloppy year. It was a funny year. That was Slop and Me, Slop and You by Rod Palmer. One of the things I'm really proud of the people that have contributed to the Beagle. I'm proud of the things that we've accomplished in the last few years. So January is the anniversary of the Beagle. January 2023. And there's been a lot of people that have contributed to the Beagle. People that have come in and out. You got Ginger B. Stiffen, you got Max Shaft, Rob Palmer, Maggie Morris. You got a lot of people that have contributed to the Beagle. And they did it, as far as I could tell, just because they enjoyed it. They enjoy the culture. They enjoy what the Beagle has. And I think one of the things that makes our content different and special is just we're not ruled by the engagement or the need for engagement. Like, we like engagement. I like when people engage with the content, not just when they like it, but like when they're in the chat, like Vake is, or Mars on Twitter, or whoever. Like, I like that feedback. I like having dialogue with people. And I think one of the things that's interesting about the Bugle that is different than just about any other form of content that I've ever seen is we're building this story in this universe, and it's an interactive universe. Like, you can engage with it. You can engage with the characters in the universe. You can assist in the process if you want to, the development of it. I just don't think there's a ton of other things out there like it. And I don't know. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what we created, and I'm proud of the reasons why we created it and continue to. We love it. It's the process that's enjoyable. When I sit down and write an article or write a song or do a show like this, like I genuinely enjoy it. I enjoy the storytelling aspect of it. I enjoy just the whole process. It's just fun. It's fun to use my brain. It's fun to flex on people. It's funny that you can be smarter than the majority of the world just because you read Atlas Shrugged. And smoke cigarettes and listen to Bitcoin podcasts. Like, it's just it's fun. It's fun to run around and to flex on people like that. I have an 81 IQ, but I'm not a sophisticated philosopher, but I still understand the world more than you do. It's fun to run around and show people that, and I'm having a blast. Like, I'm having a blast in the fort turning, and like I think a lot of people are stuck. A lot of people are slaves to the pleb slump wheel. And the bear market is funny for content creators. Like, some podcasters fall off. And I don't think we care at all. Like, as far as like I think we've been just as engaged, if not more engaged with the content, because we just enjoy it so much. But a lot of people out there are like, oh, the price is falling. I'm not getting, a bunch of dumb plebs clicking on my Hopium podcast or whatever because they're too busy, working a second job because they made bad decisions or whatever, and thought that this is the super cycle. So they're having to work to make more money instead of watching pleb slop on YouTube all day. It's just that economy, the attention economy, the short attention economy is it's super lame. It's super lame, and it's just it's interesting because there's so many people are being so doomeristic about the content ecosystem in general. There's no good movies. There's no good music. There's no good whatever. It's just not. It's not true. Like, I mean, maybe for like a lot of like big movies or whatever, it's somewhat true. But that's going to be changing because the cost of I was watching some AI Star Wars videos today, and it's getting really good. Like people are able to make some really cool stuff, and the cost just keeps on getting lower. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be individuals that are compelling storytellers, people that are good at telling stories, people that are good at imagery and stuff like that, and they just don't have millions and millions of dollars to throw at hiring a bunch of Jews to make it really good. Like they're going to be there, and they're going to have access to being able to tell these stories. It's an exciting time. There's all this emphasis on slop, but at some point it's gonna turn really compelling. Like the individuals that are the good storytellers are gonna rise to the top, and being able to leverage these types of technologies, and they're gonna be able to move at a pace that other people cannot. They just can't keep up with them. And I think in a lot of ways we've been at the forefront of this. And I'm proud of that. I'm excited about it that we can be so creative and just out of the box. And like, I know it upsets people. It's like, yeah, we're not fucking prisoners to the pleb slot machine like you are. But you shouldn't be upset at us for it. You should be upset at yourself for making decisions. Like, there's other opportunities that you could go. You don't have to have your entire life be consumed by spewing pleb slop. There's more interesting ways to enjoy life. But anyways, I'm proud. But yeah, next two songs, No Compromise Remains and Christmas Sight.
Man stands silently, looking across the rolling plains. The storm clouds are rolling in, the wilderness is his domain. He'd rather risk danger than be trapped in the routine. His freedom is more valuable than being part of the machine. He set off to the unknown because he had to find his way. The expectations of others was making his heart decay. The echoes of the past remind him why he made his choice. If you let others speak for you, you will never have a voice. The storm clouds are rolling in, and danger is near, but the pioneer chooses to embark out on the frontier. Some want safety, but he won't live chains. He's burned all the bridges, no compromise remains. Death is round the corner, but for him it's not today. The struggle brings him purpose, he won't be led astray. His path is uncharted because he holds the pen, writing his own story. His destiny is his friend. He set off to the unknown because he had to find his way. The expectations of others was making his heart decay. A man with a vision doesn't fixate on the past. He enjoys every moment, knowing that it won't last. The storm clouds are rolling in, and danger is near, but the pioneer chooses to embark on the frontier. Some want safety, but he won't live in chains. He's burned the bridges. History will remember his name. I don't know why the Lord cursed me with the ability to see a world trapped in darkness, thinking that it's free. People walk by with blank expressions like they're in a dream, but I can't join them 'cause I've seen things I can't unsee. I beg the Lord to take away the weight on my soul. I begged him to give me peace and let me feel like I'm in control. But no matter what I do, I can't shake the image from my head. The only path I can walk is to face the fight ahead. I wandered through the desert till I found out who I am. I learned everything I once believed was a vicious scam. The journey taught me to listen and to let go of regret. Now I'm in paradise, chain smoking cigarettes. Future looks bleak, but I cannot accept defeat. Getting backed into a corner with nowhere to retreat. The spiders spin their webs in order to trap those who resist. Yet I choose to walk forward into their midst. When I finally die, with a clean conscience that I refuse to sell. The rules of the game are grotesque and insane, but if I do nothing, I would be the one to blame. I can't pretend to know how this story ends, but I don't have to walk alone because I'm with friends. The journey is a hard one, but is the only one I know. The opportunities before me are ones that I won't forgo. I don't know why the Lord cursed me with the ability to see a world trapped in darkness, thinking that it's free. People walk by with blank stares like they're in a dream, but I can't join them 'cause I've seen things I can't unsee.
Alrighty. I don't think I have a ton to say tonight. I've got more cigarettes than I want to smoke than the words I want to speak, but I don't know. I mean, this next year is going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are like, last year was a bad year for them, and so they're trying to be really hopeful. I see this as this general, like, it seems like a forced optimism. I see it from a lot of people. And there's different ways. I think the thing that's important that'll make you much more successful in the foreturning is just enjoying the struggle, finding ways to enjoy the struggle, like just this understanding that life isn't easy. It doesn't have to be easy for you to be happy, that you can enjoy the process. You can enjoy the process. You can enjoy the struggle. And it just doesn't really matter, what difficult things you face. Like if you're walking through life with a sense of purpose and you're feeling good about yourself and who you are, and you know how to show up in these trying circumstances. And just because something awful happens in your life doesn't mean, or very difficult, doesn't mean it has to be the end of the world. You know what I mean? But I'm growing increasingly concerned about the mental well-being of the average pleb right now. There's a lot of the serious sense of hopelessness. And that's why I think it's like, if you're an individual and you got your shit together and you feel good about your life and you feel inspired, it's important to be active, engaged, and being an example for people, and, checking in on people on a regular basis, and just staying connected. Because, and I don't mean like, go hang out with a bunch of people that you like hate and like try and be selfless and helping them, but it's just like people that you care about, I'm so stoked about this music video. That's probably what I'm going to spend the rest of the evening working on. I've got other things I need to do. I need to work with Kaylee on finishing up the podcast, and we'll get that out tomorrow morning. But this album, the Heroes album, I'm super stoked on. I think it's going to be very, very, very good. The direction is going. I'm very happy with it right now. And we're gonna have to do some Tunester DJ sessions here in the future. That's one thing I'm committed to. We're gonna have some Beagle raves here in the future, and I'm stoked about that. But see what we got on the docket next. We got Drums in the Distance. It's a time of war. We've been in a time of war for a while. It's helpful for people to understand what happens during times of war. It's just, rules are off. The gangsters are in charge. They're not pretending that they're not gangsters. They convince the plebs. It's like, we got to be bigger gangsters than the other gangsters, and you need to cheer us on as we do this shit. But there's Drums in the Distance, followed by Live by Lies.
If you listen real closely, you can hear the drums in the distance, calling you to dance like a puppet, to question your existence. Are you ready to die for men you don't believe, walking through hell and fire only to be deceived? The deaths of millions pre-planned. Iraq, Syria, Libya, Somalia, Sudan. Are you ready for the next one? They aren't about to stop. Nobody asked for this scale of death, but the bombs are being dropped. A manufactured crisis to start another war, finishing off Iran for the encore. I tried to be good and do what I was told, but I never agreed to fund your damn wars. Murdering millions in the name of lies, printing trillions as old glory flies. In the name of democracy, they conquer foreign lands. On the wings of eagles, the empire will expand. When you look around, how can you consent? You may resist now, but what can you prevent? The media deception has rotted society's brains, distorted perceptions, trapped by chains. Didn't Al-Qaeda bomb New York? Now they are good guys doing the Lord's work. How can we believe anything we hear? Who are really the terrorists wielding fear? Loading the globe without getting stopped. The CIA won't be topped, causing chaos and destruction, and dollarizing through corruption. I tried to be good and do what I was told, but I never agreed to fund your damn wars. Murdering millions in the name of lies, printing trillions as old glory flies. In the name of democracy, they conquer foreign lands. On the wings of eagles, the empire will expand.
Feel a shiver run down your spine. The system was built this way by design. The master doesn't need to whip obedient slaves. They whip each other if one misbehaves. Tired of being gaslit and misled, struggling to see what lies ahead. Turns out you never had a choice. Voting was just a way to silence your voice. Now that reality is setting and you can't run away. It's laid before you, the depravity on full display. I know you want to just close your eyes, but nothing good comes from living by lies. History will look badly on those who threw away the future of their children that they betrayed. Boom rulers wanna hold on to their aim. Endless printing, nothing stops this chain. resisting the temptation for despair. I know times are getting hard, but if you continue forward, you'll go far. Now the reality is setting in, you can't run away. It's laid before you, the depravity on full display. I know you want to just close your eyes, but nothing good comes from living by lies. Things can be different this time. You don't have to keep supporting their crimes. Learning how to use your voice, it turns out you always had a choice. Now you know when it hurts, the world is ran by sick perverts. But keep on trudging ahead, you'll be fine if you use your head. Now that reality is setting and you can't run away. It's laid before you, the depravity on full display. I know you wanted to just close your eyes. Now that reality is setting and you can't run away. It's laid before you, the depravity on full display. I know you want to just close your eyes. Now that reality is setting and you can't run away. It's laid before you, the depravity on full display. I know you want to just close your eyes, but nothing good comes from living by lies.
All right. We're almost through the night, folks. Thank you for joining me through this. Thank you for the zap. Fake. But yeah, I'm working on this Heroes album. I mean, I think there needs to be this emphasis on heroes. I enjoy heroes in literature, but I think, you know, I'm kind of on the hunt for more examples. I've had some dialogue with some people about their favorite heroes and stories, like Late Stage Hoddle and Sasha Hodder. But I think this is a time where there needs to be, you know, examples that people look to of people doing difficult and heroic things, of choosing to do hard things with their life. And I think it's good to have a discussion about the, you know, the merits of people's choices. Like, were people heroes, or were they anti-heroes? Were they villains? You know, and there's a lot of discussion about Bonnie and Clyde in that regard, you know, through history, and you know, individuals and positions of power want to label them as just the most immoral people ever. Because not only were they disrespecting authority, which, you know, what's kind of funny is, like, you know, people know to some degree they're getting screwed by government, and like they try to start out with, or, you know, maybe government's the wrong way to frame it, but it's just, you know, the individuals in positions of power, they're being screwed by the ruling class in whatever regard. And the ruling class, you know, the ones that control a lot of industry, but also the ones that control the government, um, which then is, you know, weaponized and used against the plebs. Like, the people just don't feel bad when they see individuals like Bonnie and Clyde, you know, going after the jackboots, or, you know, whoever. And so they try to use examples of, like, oh, well, they shot these gas station, you know, clerks or whatever. And I'm not saying that Bonnie and Clyde were heroic in any form. Like, a lot of people see them historically as heroic, or, you know, whatever, for standing up against tyranny, or, you know, whatever. But it's just, the thing that I think a lot of people need to understand is, when you're looking at war and you're looking at, you know, these realms in which people are jockeying for power and control over the world, is it's not cut and dry, like great red team versus green team, good guys versus bad guys, at all. It's not cut and dry like that. It's very nuanced. And most of the time it's bad guys and against bad guys. And Bonnie and Clyde is a story of bad guys against bad guys. Uh, I've been watching. I started last night. I haven't finished yet, but I've been watching The Highwaymen, which is a movie about uh, the cops that were the previously Texas Rangers that were uh, hired in order to go after Bonnie and Clyde. And it's just it's interesting because, like, to some degree, to a large degree, it depicts them as good guys, and it kind of shows like some of the just moral ambiguity of it. Like, it mentions, throughout the story, where like a little kid asks his grandpa, like, you're a Texas Ranger, so that means you killed a bunch of people. And you kind of see this like pained expression on his face. But this is like what these guys did is like and it depicts it in the story very well. Like, they are going out and they're getting people whose job explicitly is to go kill people. Like, they're not like intervention cops. Um, they're killers, and it's just this world that is very brutal that they chose to live in, which is they're gonna go take on the system or the state or whatever you want to describe it as, head on violently, and they ended up dying violently as a result of that, and they knew that was going to happen. And it's part of the romance of it, of like this, you see this in movies a lot, where there's this kind of like final charge, where there's like a failed cause. The Lord of the Rings ended like this in the Return of the King, where they go to Mordor with no hope of winning. They're going to make their last stand, and the way that they're going to make their last stand is they're going to go take it to the gates of the enemy. It's very like it's very romantic thought of like, if we're gonna lose, we're not gonna lose cowering and hiding and running. We're gonna lose fighting. Very romantic depiction of how stuff works, and or just how the way the world works, and what, because like people don't like to feel powerless. I think that's what's inspiring of it. It's individuals refusing to be powerless. Like, they're like, if we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose on our own terms. And in many ways, that's the story of Bonnie and Clyde. But trying to think of anything else that I should say before we wrap up. Yeah, guys, go check out libertyunderattack.com. Go buy some non-KYC books. Buy it with Bitcoin and other things like Monero. If you're into that. Not much of a Monero guy. I know some of the Paznia people think I'm kind of a tard, for not liking Monero, but I don't care. Just I'll spend it. I mean, if you pay me, I'll spend it. It's not like I'm gonna have some sort of visceral reaction of like I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. Like, I just don't give a shit about your purity test. Either on the privacy cypherpunk side or on the monetary maximalist side. I just don't care about it. Like, I'm not going to knock you for using Monero. I just don't think it's a very secure system, and it doesn't have the. I mean, I guess it's got like why it's kind of interesting because it has a little bit of a network effect. Like, you can go and spend it a lot of places. Like, people are excited about receiving and spending it. So I mean, that's cool. I went on a Monero Guys podcast and talked about this. But yeah, whatever. I'm not going to FUD it. I'm not a huge fan because I'm a Bitcoin podcaster and I listen to Bitcoin podcasts. And I tried listening to some Monero podcasts for a while, but that Seth for Privacy guy needs his balls to drop. Got a real high pitch voice, and it's kind of boring, and seems like a really nice guy, but I don't know. But yeah, go check out Liberty Under Attack. This is Music Mondays on the Paznia Radio Network. Check out paznia.com/radio if you want to learn more about what Paznia is. And actually got my Paznia flag hung up on my wall this week. I've had it for months. And I decided to hang it up in case my background shuts off, because my typewriter sometimes does that. And so if it shuts off midstream like it sometimes does, you'll see the Paznia flag. That's my backup. But I'm just I don't know. I'm stoked on this album. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna go to a much longer album, because like one of the things in my goal for it is that, like, I want the music to be danced to. I want it to be accessible to DJs. And I think it can be. But let's see. I'm going to send you out, guys, with this one. It's called Here With Me Now. And it's a fun one. Have a good night.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now.
Yeah. The person on the TV screens for more war, arguing that only dropping bombs can settle the score. More printing and surveillance, we've been here before, but the pain is so intense that it can't be ignored. Getting priced out of the things that bring you purpose. A generation aimlessly wandering, feeling worthless. The masses are angry, arguing who to steal from, but I'm just here trying to experience freedom. Being a slave to no one is what I dream of, but the slaves around me want me to be them. There are days it feels like I'm all alone, consumed by the isolation of being unknown. I'm glad you're with me, 'cause I need it. Hopelessness is alive, but you can't be alone to defeat it.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now. I've been searching all around, praying to be found. But I'm not alone, because you're here with me now. With me now.
There's a weight I drop from caring what people think. Why consider the opinions of the people bringing us to the brink? I just want to work hard, but they keep getting in my way, leeching off my labor because they have debts to pay. When sanity and honesty are discouraged and condemned, society lacks a moral compass. Truth is like dust in the wind. The temptation for despair grows like a raging storm. There is an anger in my chest for trying to make me conform. They tell me that I'm sick for trusting my gut and having conviction, while they spin their tales of insidious fiction. They think my body and mind is their jurisdiction, yet the pictures they paint are riddled with obvious contradictions. The whole system is rotten from top to bottom. I will fight to the death before self-respect is forgotten.
The world around us may be crashing down. It's hard not to be consumed with doubt. But I'm okay, 'cause you're here with me now. I've been searching all around, praying to be found. But I'm not alone, because you're here with me now. With me now. With me now.
The truth matters because lies have consequences. You can't get to where you want if you accept their pretenses. Democracy is about using bad information to form consensus. Learning what's real, you must learn to trust your senses. It hurts to see how the world works